Man, that's what's up. That's what's up, man. And I know you name places like, Iraq and Afghanistan. Just talk briefly about, some of the places that you've been and just what you've experienced. And obviously, when I say what you've experienced, obviously you got a lot more details that you can. But just from a perspective of what we see in the United States versus what we see in other countries. Just talk about your experience, going to, some of these places.
So for me, man, I'm from Easton. I'm a country boy. At the end of the day, going to these places really broadened my outlook on circumstances and things that I took for granted or that I take for granted and that we take for granted over here, and looking
Mm,
at what they call a lifestyle over there and how they confide in us so much to try to protect them from their own people. You know what I'm saying? It's almost
mm,
like what's going on in the United States right now. You know what I'm saying? And it's a humbling experience being over there. There's been things that had to happen. There's been things that I wish I could say that I wish I didn't have to see. But I mean,
mm-hmm,
that's the nature of the beast. That's at the end of the
mm-hmm,
day, it's a job. And I just my biggest take back from being deployed overseas is appreciating being as privileged as I am. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm,
To be able to wake up every day, and thank God one for being here, and to not have to think, man, this little boy, could be the boy that take my life, could take me away from my kids. You know what I'm saying? And
mm-hmm.
it's just a
Yeah.
humbling experience being over there, man. It's just very humbling, and I would do it again, most definitely. I definitely would do it again. And I just appreciate, everything that I have here, man. I'm just blessed.
And I appreciate you sharing that. That's the one thing I've heard from people that have been deployed is like you said, not taking for granted what we have here. And like you said, some people are like, what we have here is crazy here now. Yeah, but it's a lot of places, man, that it's nowhere near, bro. I mean, tell them it's not even close to what some people going through, in these third world countries and places like that. So I appreciate you sharing that. And as you say that, let's back up just a little bit and go into. I know you say you're a country boy at heart, so talk about growing up on the Eastern Shore as a young black boy that obviously grew into a young adult and then growing into an adulthood. Just talk about growing up. What it was like with your family and just being a black boy on the Eastern Shore.
Okay. My mom, man. I gotta start with that. God bless her. We didn't
God
have,
bless
we
Mom
didn't
Dukes, man.
have, yeah, we didn't have everything. You know what I'm saying? But what we did have, she made sure that we had. You know, um,
Mm,
Man, growing up on the shore, man, and seeing the outside world, it's like, man, we don't have as much opportunity as these bigger cities, these bigger towns. You know what I'm saying? And I love my town. I keep
mm,
my town with me wherever I go. My city, and I love it to death, man. And I just appreciate having that upbringing because it taught me how to save my money. You know what I'm saying? It taught me how to survive. It taught me how to have street smarts. You know what I mean? All these things, man, that you see every day, and it was a family environment. It taught me to appreciate the people that I do come in contact with, and to learn people, to be able to go out and just learn people without even knowing them from anything, from anywhere, to go out and to know people and be able to talk to them about anything, to be able to have the trust and entrust people and to trust me with things that they may not be able to talk to anybody else about. Um,
mm.
and having that the education, seeing strong black women in the schools, Miss Brooks, it's just
Yeah,
so many people, man,
talk
that
on
that
it.
I look now,
Mm,
and I'm just like, man, I hated school, man. I was in independent study all through high school. You feel me? And it's like to be able to come from a little town to get a degree. I tried college. When I graduated from high school, bro, I tried college. I tried Chesapeake. It just wasn't for me.
mm,
You know what I'm saying?
mm,
And to be able to take that knowledge that I knew I had stored, and to utilize that in the world as an adult. You know what I mean? I appreciate everything that I learned from being from Easton. And I wouldn't take it back, man. Being in high school, you know, it was rough at times. You know, we know fat out. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it was all love. At the end of the day, it was love. You know, it wasn't. You had to take in everything that you got and be able to turn it around into positive. And I appreciate that from being from a little town. You know what I'm saying? To be able to be the man that I am today, I owe it all to where I'm from.
And that's what's up, man. That's what's up. And you know, shout out Mom Dukes. You know, we all basically like family, man. So, you know, when you said Mom Dukes, you know, I used to always run into her here or there. So, and I'm sure I will, you know, in the future. You know what I mean? So when you talk to her, you make sure that, yeah, send her my love, you know, for sure. But you know, I appreciate you sharing that, and you made some good points, man, because she said college is not for everybody. You know, some people when they get out of high school, they might want to work. Some people, they might want to go to the service. Some people, they might want to go to college. Some people, they, you know, now you're seeing more people even with trade schools and different things like that. You know, going driving trucks and things like that. You know, I love that because, like you said, it's not for everybody. You know, it's not for everybody. And just because you don't go to college, there's other ways that you can get to where you want to get to. And you're a classic, like I said, you know, tip my hat, you're a classic example of that. Talk about the and I got a picture I'm gonna send to you from high school. I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna hopefully I'll forget. Hey, when you in band in high school, I got a picture of you, and it was you and it was two other people. I think one was Rachel Grove, and y'all was performing. You remember what I'm talking about? That was Albert when he had the cornrows. I'm gonna send it to you. It'll refresh your memory. Cornrow Al, baby.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send that to you.
That was my outlet, man. Band, thank God for that too.
Man. Yeah, for sure. And you played football for Easton as well, right?
Yes, sir. I did.
Talk about. Yeah, I'm gonna say talk about that the discipline that football gave you, even now as you see as you're in the military. Let's talk about that combination, if you will.
Okay, so first starting with the coaches, man. You know, they were like second fathers to us. Some of us didn't come up with a dad, so you know we depended on them to be that father figure. And I can honestly say that through middle school and high school, I had great coaches, great head coaches, great assistant coaches. You know, people to put things in my head to let me know that I was something. You know, I was little, 5'3", 240 pounds. You know, and they gave me a chance. They gave me an opportunity, and they gave me an opportunity to show that even through those things, man, you know, you still got some athleticism in you. You know what I mean? And think more of yourself. Don't just think of yourself as that. You know, I played nose tackle, man. I played nose tackle. I played guard, you know. And I always too. At every position I was small, but I was so small I can get through that line. You know what I'm saying? I was small and quick. You know what I'm saying? So I can get to the quarterback. Coming from a little school, though, you see that. I see that a lot. That people, you got to be able to play every position. Wherever the coach puts you at, you got to be able to play position. When I played basketball in high school, I played the 3. I was only 5'5". You know, I had to play the 3. So, it taught me how to take my abilities where I thought I lacked that, and to be able to play at a higher level. You know, you gotta be at a higher level, because you're gonna play people that's gonna have advantages. You're gonna meet people that's gonna have an advantage on you no matter what. But you gotta think higher. You know, you gotta outdo them. You gotta practice more. You know, you gotta work out more. You gotta be 10 times better than that person that may be trying to come from your position. You know, so and that's another thing I appreciate, man. Like I said, they gave me a chance to do whatever. I was small, man. It's crazy, you know, but here we are now. You feel me?
And I like that too, because you know you talk about the mentality of even in sports. Like you said, even me, I had to play, you know, the center a lot of times when a lot of guys, you go to different schools, they're the point guard. So you just talk about having to play bigger than what you are. And it's the same thing with life. Coming from a small town, when you go to the city, you know, I remember going to Baltimore, going to D.C. Where are you from? The Eastern Shore? Where is that at? You know, going to these small towns. Like you said, the town's so small, you can't even say I'm from Easton or I'm from Hurlock or I'm from Cambridge. You had to say I'm from the Eastern Shore. I used to try to say Easton, and then I used to try to get tired of trying to say we're Easton. So I said, you know, I'm from the Eastern Shore. Go across the Big Bridge. I remember that. You know what I'm saying? So I like what you said though. You know, being from a small town, it teaches you that mentality that to dream and to put in the hard work. Because one thing you can't say nothing about is around there in the small town, we work hard. We work hard. Right. You know what I mean? So you know, I appreciate you sharing that. Now, you talked about football. Now, you had a transformation, so to speak, when it came to your weight. I think you said, if I'm not mistaken, nose tackle was a tough position. You was at about 240. Let me know the transformation as far as where you were at when you weighed your most to when you say, okay, I'm gonna start putting work in and lose weight. Because some people might forget that size Albert. You know, I don't want to call you Fat Albert. You know, they might forget that. So for some people that maybe didn't know you, or even kids that's watching, and maybe it's parents and kids fighting obesity or things like that. Let's talk about your journey in weight loss.
Okay, so I mean, 10th grade, man. My mom took me to. My mom has always been a health fanatic. Before she ran into her own health issues, when I was little, I remember her watching, some workout videos, doing the videos, only eating salads and lean meats and stuff like that. She didn't eat like pork and red meat and stuff like that. And she would walk. You know, we would always do that. And you know, as a kid, man, you don't think about those things. All you think about is snacks. How much can I eat? You know, I'm hungry. You know what I mean? So I think 10th grade, me and William Coleman, we were working at Wendy's. I think you had left. You had left already, Wendy's, I think, though, at that point. And man, we just got tired of it, bro. Like, we just got tired of it. We were just like, man, this summer, we're gonna put our all into losing weight. We just got tired of being the fat dudes, man. You know what I mean? Like, I'm 240, he like 260. I'm 5'5", he like 5'9", 5'10". You know what I'm saying? We were bigger, we were too big for our age, man. We would go on break every day that we worked. Okay, this is 10th grade. This is 10th grade going into 11th grade year. Every day we work, we would go to the gym and work out. We had 30 minutes, we was going to spend 30 minutes at that gym. After that, when we got off, we going back to the Y. We getting on the elliptical. We playing ball. Ball was probably the best thing that we could have got into after working hours, and because it just shared the fat. By 11th grade, man, I went from 240 to 175. You know, that whole year.
Wow, 240 to 1. Wow.
Yes, sir. And it was just, man, I just let go sodas, snacks, fatty foods. I started eating salads, started putting vinaigrette on my salad instead of dressing. Yeah, I started, eating chicken instead of eating like burgers and stuff like that. And I just noticed, man, that it just came out. But the work that we put in, I say, this is how I know that anything is possible. Because at that age, you don't think about that. You're not thinking about losing weight. You're thinking about eating. You're thinking about how much can I eat? How much can I do? You're not thinking about working out. You're not thinking about, well, when I get off work, I just want to go to the gym. I don't want to go nowhere else. I want to go to the gym because I'm tired of looking like this. And once you get tired, you get active. And that's what it was, man. And I think 11th, 12th grade year, it was just all about cardio. It was about calisthenics. You know, I had two weights, 225-pound weights. I think I did everything with them 25-pound weights. You know, y'all giving me the opportunity to hoop with y'all at the Y, man. Y'all, and then the old heads, man. And we just fell in love with the game. We fell in love with, we wasn't the best, but we fell in love with the game so much that we trying to play. I don't even care. You know, I just want to play. And then I joined the Navy. And I went in the Navy, I went in 175. After I got out the Navy, I was 185. Now, now I'm seeing muscle mass. Now I'm seeing,
I like this.
You know, and then I went to my first command, man. I found the weights again, and I found the weights, and I fell in love with it, you know. And I went from 185 to like 205, 210. I was still playing ball though. I was still playing ball, so I didn't want to get too big. But I was playing ball. I went to Italy and I started playing ball for the Italian team over there. And I noticed that I was better than I thought, man. Like, I'm not the best, you know, but I was.
But you were a lot better than you thought, yeah.
Right, I was good enough to make an Italian pro team. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, that mean you good.
I mean, but you know, I owe it all first God and then y'all, man. I'm telling you, man, I will watch y'all, man. I think the first time I ever picked up a basketball, I think Sheldon Hawkins was just dribbling around me, and I'm like, you know, I'm just like, man, I want to do that, you know. And then just watching D Skinner down low in the post. Yeah, I ain't the fastest, but I'm gonna go ahead and pump fake a couple of times.
Yeah,
you with some chimneys, you know what I mean? And it's just, you know, man, I looked up to y'all. I still look up to y'all even now, man. So, you know, that was my journey, man. And right now I'm sitting at 240, but my body fat ain't the same. You know what I mean?
I gotta say that's the key. Your body fat is totally. You talk about 240 and 240 now. The body fat. And honestly, man, like talk to people and even educate me a little bit, because sometimes we do. You know, you mentioned these we do weight loss challenges, and sometimes it's about weight, but a lot of times it's about the body fat. Just tell people just some things like how do you cut body fat? And this is a question I'm being a little biased, even for me. What's good things to do to cut body fat though? Real talk.
So I mean, just in the beginning, without going into the science behind it,
right.
Cut off the things that you know that you like. Soda. If you drink soda, you gotta cut your sugars, your white breads, your your white pastas, your fried foods, and your carbohydrates. To a certain point. If you get rid of the sugars, the fats, the bad fats, the white bread, and the candy and snacks and stuff, you're already gonna see a change in your body, because your body's gonna start letting off water weight. It's gonna start as water weight, you know, because those things hold water. Carbohydrates hold water on your muscles. Bad carbohydrates, fats, you know, that goes straight to your love handles. You know, those areas, your 6-pack going now. So you just gotta cut. You just gotta make it a lifestyle. You can't just cut it off for a moment. You gotta change and transform it to a lifestyle. Second thing, you gotta get more active. You gotta move. You gotta walk. Walking is, people underestimate walking. But walking for an hour, you burning close 350, 400, 450. You know, just walking at a pace, at a 3.2 pace, or just walking. You know what I'm saying? Your body's not used to that. Your body's not used to walking for an hour. You know, carrying on for an hour and a half, 45 minutes. You know, and then it's just, like I said, the biggest thing are those two things. And then being active for it's called HIIT, high intensity interval training. It's where your heart rate go up for 2 minutes. You rest for a minute. Pump your heart rate back up. 2 minutes. Yeah. You rest for a minute. And that's out of like 15 minutes, man. It takes 15 minutes to burn 400 calories, man, with HIIT. And you just got to get more active, bro. And drink your water. People underestimate water too. Water is going to get all them bad toxins out your body to allow your body to be able to do what it do, to burn that fat. You know what I mean? But I will say this too. So I'm 34. And I will say, and I'm not making an excuse, once you hit your 30s, man, your metabolism take a drastic hit.
It's different. It's different, right? Yeah, it's different.
So you're going to have to do a lot more than you did as a teenager or in your 20s. You got to do a little more than what you, but it's 80-20, man. 80% diet, 20% working out, man.
So, yeah, that's, you know what, man, that's a great, thanks for sharing that, man. And everybody that's listening and the ones I know will see this, man, I hope y'all, you know, take Robert, you know, saying seriously, man, because, you know, health is wealth. And one thing he said was just about getting active. And that reminds me, I'm going to walk tomorrow morning. I'm going to get up, walk tomorrow morning. That's my goal, walk tomorrow morning. But like you said, when you don't walk a while, because I remember, you know, I took a few weeks off one time. I said, all right, no big deal, man. I forget walk. I'm going to go ahead and start jogging. Man, man, and I wasn't right. Legs was heavy. I guess my blood wasn't flowing right, man. My legs was itchy, and I was like, yo, like, what's going on here? But like you said, after not doing it a while, but you know, my wife, she jokes with me sometimes, because if I get serious with with, like you said, not even working out, because I work out all the time, but dieting, what you said,
Right.
dieting, and get serious with it. It doesn't take me long to lose, compared to, men can lose quicker than females if we're disciplined. It's just how our body's built. So if I start drinking, more water, which I have a lot, cut out the sodas. One time I cut out fried foods, cut out the sugars and the candy, stuff like that. Man, I know it was like 2 summers ago I had a little thing, and I ended up losing like 18 pounds in probably only like 5 weeks, maybe I think, something like that. So yeah. So like you said, it's that cardio and all that is great, but like you said, if you eat right, and like you said, and the second thing you said, it's a lifestyle. Eventually, it became a lifestyle for you. You went from, like you said, you're 240 in high school, different than 240 now because of your body fat. So I'm sure that helped you. Talk about how you already getting in better shape in high school helped you when you got to the Navy. How did that help you when it came to boot camp and all that stuff that you did in the Navy, which I probably somewhere throwing up right now. But talk about that.
So I was already programmed. I was already disciplined before I got there. I couldn't. Another reason why I did so much is because I couldn't get into the Navy until I lost a certain percentage of body fat. So if I'm not mistaken, I think
really?
it was 20%.
Oh, okay.
And I think I was 24 at the time that I went to the recruiter. So I had to lose that percentage, but I was already disciplined by the time I got there. I was already busting out push-ups. I was already running 1.5 miles. I was already swimming. You know what I'm saying? So when I got there, for me, boot camp was a breeze. I had a position of authority when I got there. And again, so let me tell you this, right? So coming from a little town, we think different. We move different. So when I got there, I'm trying to lay low. I don't want no responsibility. I just want to get in, get out. And they saw that on me, but they saw also my leadership ability, how I would talk to people while I was in there, how people gravitated to my vibes, to my energy. And they gave me a leadership position. And I got through boot camp with that. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, thank God for me being humble. For me coming from where I came from to where I am now, I could have been like, oh, well, I ain't about to do these push-ups. I ain't got to do them, blah, blah, blah. But to show leadership is for me to do it with my truth. You know what I'm saying? So, I was already disciplined enough, and I was already motivated enough to carry on with whatever I had to do in boot camps. I wanted to get in and get out. I knew I had left for a reason, and I didn't want to fail. So that was my biggest motivation, is not failing and having to come back and tell my mom that I couldn't make it. So that's what it was.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. Thanks for sharing that. And like you said, talking about that discipline that's needed, and not just like you said in that, but in life, period. That discipline that we need, to get through day by day. And like you said, that work you started putting in early. By the time you got the boot camp, some people might have been struggling. You was like, hey, I'm good, man. I already been doing this stuff, So I appreciate you. Yeah, I appreciate you sharing that, man. And going to basketball, for a minute, and I do want you to talk a little bit more about you playing. And you're right, though. I've seen you get better and better and better and better. And I remember sometimes you talk about, it's funny, Skinner's always on the show, as you know, but Hawkins Shelton, he'll be on here the last Monday in this month. He'll be on here too. So definitely people tune in for that. But when you talk about that ball and stuff like that, I tell people basketball cardio is different. It's different than a lot of cardio, because you're stopping, you're cutting, you're going, you're sprinting. You know what I'm saying? You're reacting, you're jumping. It's like no other. I mean, you can run on the treadmill, elliptical, and then come out and try to play ball and not be in basketball shape. So, like you said, that helped you as well. So, but talk about playing ball in the military. My dad's also someone that was in the military and got to play ball in places because of the military. You started talking about that a little bit. Talk a little bit more about how you got involved in being able to play basketball at a high level in the military.
Okay, so when you get to your command, wherever you're gonna be stationed there, I was blessed enough to be overseas. I started in Japan, went to Italy after that, and I spent most of my time, my career in Italy. So when you get there, they have like intramural things where you play against other commands, other stations, and things like that. But so what would happen was we had a whole base team. So I don't know how to. So if my command was if my whole command was a college campus, we would take the best players from those different commands and make one team, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And then
I got you.
We'll travel to like Germany and go play one of the base teams over there. We'll travel to like Lithuania and play them. And so what happened was one of the coaches for the Italian team came to one of the games, and they were looking for a point guard. Now, again, like I said, when I played, I didn't play no point guard. I was a big man all day long. But like I said, I don't know, man. I don't know where. Just paying attention to watching basketball and watching other people. Joe and
you knew the game. You knew the game, even though you didn't play. You knew the game. Yeah.
Right. And so he came and he he picked two people, and I was blessed enough to be one of them. And they allowed us to play. They only allowed 2 Americans to play on the team. So if you only could play in that league if it was 2 Americans. Same with football.
That's what that was. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And man, you talk about running. Their game is totally different. Overseas in Europe, the game is totally different. It's nothing but running.
Totally different, bro.
Back and forth, back and forth. There's no setting up a play. It's like a fast break the whole game. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, they didn't just pick me up and say, hey, you're on the team. I had to still try out. So I had to play against some people. Daniel Gallinari played for that team.
Danilo Gallinari. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it was
Gallo.
And I was playing against people that was like 7 foot, and I ain't used to that. I wasn't used to that.
That's dope.
So I had to switch my game up because I can't play the big man now. I'm 5'8". Like I gotta be the point guard now. I gotta learn how to shoot. And they worked with me a little more. And I played for that team for about, I want to say 2 years while I was there, Formula, and then I went back. Then I played for Itri, which was another place in Italy. And it was a humbling experience to play in that league too. I will say. It's like high school, man. And like I said, man, I'm just blessed. I'm just blessed to have that opportunity.
Yeah, that's dope, man. That's dope. Thanks for sharing that, man. That's cool. It's funny because when you was painting the picture, I could literally see how it was, and listen to you and my dad talk about playing. I could imagine how it was, and man, one thing I'll say about you too, I don't want to forget before we get done. You always been a humble cat, man. Like you still, seriously, man. You're a humble dude, man. That's what I always like about you, man. You always been humble guy. Always about his business, and you always seem like you had your mind. I know you said you tried college first, but to me, from the outside looking in, we were close as well. You always, knew, you had something. You knew what you wanted to accomplish. You know what I'm saying? So, after college, did you know you wanted to go to the military, or because me personally, when I was younger, I always was like I ain't never going. It just ain't me, and sometimes when people around 9/11 and stuff like that. I remember being in 11th grade and that happened, and people really was like, oh, we definitely not going, but people were still going. So I say that to say, like, what made you want to go to the military though? Was it just that thing where you were just like, college ain't for me, I gotta try something, and I'm a roll with that, or what?
It was, man. I knew I didn't want to. I love my town, I love my city, but I knew I didn't want to just stay here. I mean, stay in Houston. I wanted to do something, and I just wanted to be able to travel. I couldn't pay for college. I had a job and I didn't have the education. So having a job that I had to have at that time, but I knew I wanted more. And as a way out, I'll be honest, as a way out, I was like, well, I'm about to go to the military. My mom would tell you though, she'll be like, she think I went to the military for different reasons, and that had to do with her. And it's not like I've always been the dude where I wanted to have my own. I started working at 14
Yeah.
at the hospital. You know, I bought my
Yeah.
own first
Yep.
car. You know, like I've always wanted to
Yep.
do my own thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And it's not. It was the last resort, to be honest. And I only said I was gonna do 4 years. I was gonna do my 4 years. I was gonna get out. And let me tell you, the odds were stacked up against me because I went in without a job. So that means now I'm doing everybody else's job. I'm doing the jobs that people don't want to do because I ain't got a job. You know, and they tried. It almost broke me. I won't lie. It almost broke me. But I knew that I did not want to come back home with nothing.
You want to come back.
You know, I didn't want to come back home with nothing. I wasted the time. I wasted my 4 years not doing nothing. I wasn't even gonna go to college, man. And this guy, this older cat, black dude, he was like, man, the Navy giving out degrees. They giving out free education. For you not to at least enroll would be absurd. You know what I'm saying? It would be absurd to not enroll. Who knows how you gonna do? You know, you don't even know how you gonna do. So I enrolled and you know, but like I said, man, I always give first thanks to God, man, honest to God, no matter what happens, because it was only him. Like all the odds were stacked up where I could not get these classes done, but somehow I got them done, you know? And so, man, it was definitely a last resort. But I'm glad I made that decision just off the muscle. I just went. You know, I was just like, I'm going. Like, it is what it is. I left my best friend behind. That was one of the things I regret. I wish he would have came with me, you know, and but I had to I got to make my own way, you know, and that was my way out. You know, that's why I did it, man, to be honest.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. And that's one thing, like I said, you always been, you know, that go-getter, that person, like you said, you know, working at 14, getting your own car, always having that mindset where you want. And like you said, you didn't want to fall victim to, you know, looking back and like, I should have did this, or I'm still here, I'm still there. So like I said, man, you put God first and the rest is history. So, you know, again, man, I tip my hat to you, you know, in that aspect. With the whole, no problem, with the whole, with COVID-19 and everything going on in the world, you know, as far as that goes, how has your day-to-day and things been for you, you know, as far as being in quarantine and different things like that? You know, just talk about that a little bit.
So the military has us still on phase 1 quarantine. So we're not allowed to go to public places. We're not allowed to be in a group no more than 10, even at our own home, excluding the family members. So, you know, we can do like Father's Day, we had people over, you know, but we could have more than 10 people over, you know, and we can only go out for essential stuff, grocery shopping, your car needs fixing or something like that. So to be honest, I've always been a lone wolf type person. So for me, this doesn't really, it doesn't affect me. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't affect me as much as it does someone else, because I know how to have a good day without being out amongst people or, you know, going out and doing this, that, or third, you know. And then I have the love of the family. You know, my mom's able to travel, so, you know, I'm able to see her from time to time. My family able to travel, so I see them. The only thing that I would say is the gym. So I have a deep love and connection to the gym, and I feel like right now I'm being cheated on, you know, because I'm not.
I'm gonna say, trust me, we see. Hey, they see. They see.
Yeah, I feel like I'm being cheated on by the gym, man. I'm not able to go, but she let everybody else ride. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, you know, that's the only thing. But man, I got some weights. You know, I've been in the field, so I know how to do body weight exercises. I go on walks, go on run, put some weight on me and go for a walk. So I'm maintaining. Do I agree? No, but I signed that paper, so you know I gotta abide by the rules.
y'all do. It is what it is. Yeah. I feel you on that. Yeah. And just with everything going on in the world right now with the police brutality, obviously the killing of George Floyd, and the you know, the racism that's going on in the country, the injustice going on in the country. how does it make you feel, just as a black man, and coming from where you come from? Obviously, like I said, we're from the shore. It is a predominantly white area. I know, I've experienced racism before. I'm sure you have, but just talk a little bit about everything that's going on in the world, and you can say as little or as much as you want, just pertaining to that overview of things.
Okay, I mean, man, look. At the end of the day, I there's injustices that has to be talked about. And until we can have that conversation that Black Lives Matter, all lives cannot matter. It can't be. It doesn't.
That's right.
All lives don't matter because Black lives don't matter. So how can you say
Right.
that? And it was like, well, people say, well, they don't agree with what happened with George Floyd. Okay, cool. But what are you doing about it? It's not enough now to still be silent or not be racist. What are you doing about it in your community? When you go back to your community and you go talk to your kids, are you talking to them about racial injustice? Are you talking to them about what happened to this man was not right? And being in the military, there's a lot that we can't, talk about or make comments on. But I will say this, and this is my thing. This is my standpoint, and I'm able to say this because I've said it to my leadership. Okay. I've been Black for 34 years. I've been in the Navy for 15. I'm always gonna be Black. I ain't always gonna be in the Navy. So until leadership say something about that, I can't ride with that. Like, I love what I do. I love my job, but I have a voice too. And the voice in a uniform is totally different from the voice out of uniform. I'm Albert Finch. I'm a Black man, from the Eastern Shore. That could be me. That could be my uncle. That could be my nephew. You know what I'm saying? So I had to speak up on it. And I just think that people are looking into the Black Lives Matter movement as something negative. We're not saying that your life don't matter. All we're saying is that Black Lives Matter. We're not saying that you don't matter.
It's simple. It's simple. It should be. Yep.
Right. We just want y'all to feel the same way we feel about us. Are we not allowed to think that we are a superior being, period? We're Black. Don't you think so? Don't you think you're a superior being? It's okay. I'm not saying that you're not. But what I am saying is that I'm an African American and we deserve to be heard just as much as the next person. And that's my outlook on it, man. I stand firmly with Black Lives Matter, and even this new coalition that they have now, NFSC. No, I forgot what I was reading.
Is that a coalition? Is that the LeBron coalition, the one he started, or is that another one?
No, it's a different one. It's no something, man. I can't think of. I was just reading up on it.
Sorry, we'll find it.
The modern day Black Panthers. The modern day Black Panthers, where we're making a presence. We're making our presence felt. We have a Second Amendment right as well to bear arms. Like I should be able to bear arms just as much as the next man and not be abused or not be talked to by the police because I am bearing arms. So if the KKK is allowed to show force, then we're allowed to show force too. And that's all they're about, man. They ain't about starting no trouble, but they're about reconciliation. We want to know that we want y'all to know that we not gonna stand for it no more. And so I'm gonna hit this and then I'm gonna let it go because this really bothers
you good.
That the president said that if Black people don't understand their history, they're gonna relive it. That is not true. We do understand our history.
Not true.
Why we're not gonna relive it. We refuse.
This is why we're trying to fight. Yep.
Exactly. Yep. So how can you even say that? And I hope that the movements that we're making, that they're not being. I pray that they don't be looked at as foul or trying to start trouble. We just want to be heard. And unfortunately, talking didn't do it. Marching didn't do it. Kneeling didn't do it. So now we got to take force. We got to take action. And that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
So that's my outlook on it. Man.
Nah, I appreciate it, man. And that's why I wanted to open up to say, like you said, is little or as much, because I also know it's some things you can't get into. So, I appreciate you sharing it. And you said it, like you said, it really should be simple. I mean, That's what Black Lives Matters means. You know, our life does not matter. That's all we're saying. You know,
Right.
I get so tired of people saying, well, you know, we matter too. White lives matter too. We know y'all matter, but the point
Right.
is we haven't mattered. We haven't mattered. So that's what it's all about. You know, so you know, I appreciate you sharing that. And it could be the National Black Justice Coalition. There is one coalition I looked up, the National Black Justice Coalition, but there's a couple. There's also an African Black Coalition too. So you had to let me know offline though, which one it might be. You know what I mean? Because there's a couple of different ones
Right
out there
now,
though.
man, it's not effing around coalition. Look it up when you get a chance.
Okay. All right, cool. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
And the Bear Arms thing is a good point because you know I don't know if you're friends with Derek Daly on you know from BAM,
Yeah.
but you know sometimes he shows himself with his guns and you know some people are like, well, why are you showing that? You don't need to show that. But like he's saying, I got as much right to show to bear arms than the white person. And that's all.
Exactly.
That's what his point is. And some of us still don't understand that. Why? You know, I mean, because all of a sudden we're always like, well, they're going to try to bring you down. And don't get me wrong, I know it's in good intention, but he's just saying the same thing. Hey, I can bear arms just like they can bear arms. So, you know, that's a great point too. So, yeah. Go ahead.
We just need to educate ourselves on our rights. We just
Yes.
Because we right now in this time we need to bear arms. You need to protect yourself. Period. You know what I'm saying? So we need to educate ourselves not only on our rights, our constitutional rights, but our rights, what the police can do or what they cannot do. You know.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you.
Yeah, the moment you spit that back out to them, then they know you know what you're talking about. So I mean, I'm not saying that nothing's gonna happen, but at least you know you arming yourself with the knowledge to know what they can and what they cannot do. At that point, you're not wrong. As long as you're following what you know, you're not wrong. You know what I mean? Oh.
That's right. Because every time the police pull you over, they aren't supposed to be able to search your car and do some of the things that they're doing even when they pull you over. And I know someone that was telling the story the other day about a cop wanted her to get out, and she like, get out for what? What am I getting out of the car for? And he ended up, I guess, going back, talking to another cop, changed his mind and letting her leave. So it's just so much things that, you, like you said, you got to know your rights, and everyone needs to really read up on when it comes to that. And because it's a lot going on. It's a lot going on out here. So we got to be protectors of one another. In the time we living in, for sure. Again, man, Real Sports Fan Podcast, man. Got my boy Albert Finch Sr. On here, man. Another Monday that we're doing this thing. First Monday in July that he's able to bless us with being on the podcast today. Thanks for everyone for listening. We're going to talk about a couple more things before we let you guys go. NBA, man. NBA. I'm sure you've heard that players are going to Orlando and they're going to return about 22 teams, and they're going to be traveling between tomorrow and Thursday. Let me get your opinion, man. 'Cause I hear a lot of different things. I know I've seen some of the podcasts about, should they have tried to play again? Should they have sat? Just give me your opinion on what you think. And to me, it's a two-way street. It's, do they not play because of COVID and because of the Black Lives Matter movement, or is it one or the other? But just give your opinion on the NBA coming back, and if you think they should or should not have come back, for the season.
So this was a question on the Breakfast Club. I actually called in to the Breakfast Club.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah? Oh, that's what's up.
And I was like, at first, I was like, nah, man. I think we should just ride it out. But that was until I thought about it a little bit more. I was like, man, but who knows how long it's gonna go? Do we just disband the NBA? Period. Like, do these men not make their money? Do we not get entertainment while being in the house still? I think it's gonna be a good look as long as it's a good look. We got a couple players that's not gonna be coming back because they have gotten COVID recently. So as long as they can protect the players, I think it's a good look. I want to see it. You know, I want to see LeBron and the Greek Freak in the finals and
Right,
championship. You
right,
know,
exactly, yeah,
but I want him to be safe too. You know, so as long as
yeah,
it's good, it's good. I
yeah,
think it's a good idea. I think we need some entertainment. I also was thinking at one point too that maybe it was a distraction. Maybe.
mm,
Feel me? But
mm,
at this point, I mean, let them boys play, man. Because who knows how
mm,
long this COVID situation gonna go down. So I say let them
yeah.
get their
That's
paycheck.
real. That's real. That's real. And that's a great point that you made. And you know, I've been on both sides of it, and like you said, and I was for them coming back, but I also see why people, you know, have them, you know, didn't want them to come back as well. Originally, it was the whole Kyrie Irving. You know, he brought to the table about maybe they should sit because of Black Lives Matter movement, but his also had a little bit to do with, you know, him not being able to play, you know, and them telling him to stay home. So that had a little bit different to do. My whole thing the whole time was obviously with COVID, you got to be safe with COVID.
Right.
So that's the whole point of them though doing the bubble. I was even listening to this to Scottie Pippen today, and you know I was always a Pippen fan, love him, you know,
Right.
on the court, you know. But I honestly I can't listen to Scottie a lot off the court. I love him playing, you know, but I'll listen to him today, yeah, because you know I understand what he was saying, but the whole point of the NBA doing the bubble is to follow the guidelines and to be protected. A lot of people I've heard, you know, yeah, they talk about the movement and having that voice, and hopefully they use that voice and that platform and use their money, you know, and all that. But a lot of really, for me, was hearing people talk about this bubble, like they don't want to be in this bubble. And that's and to be protected from COVID, you got to be in that bubble. You can't go and do, you know, all the things. That's the whole point. That's what they're trying to do. So it was a reporter from the Buck that does the Bucks. Now she does ESPN, and she went a couple of days ago, and she was saying how you know she heard some people talking about like it was prison. She said, well, there was some people that never went to prison because this ain't prison. They give us 3 meals a day. We in a nice hotel. We got amenities and stuff all around us. They cleared the whole park out for us. So like me and you said before we went live, it could be a whole lot worse. So long as they're protected, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. I'm good with that. Yeah. So, man, football, man. Let's get into some football before we get out of here. Before we went live a couple hours ago, Patrick Mahomes, the young phenom quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs, 10-year deal. First they were saying it was 400 plus, then they were saying 450 plus. Last report said I got it was 503 million. 10 years, 503 million. It's basically a 12-year deal because he's already got 2 years left on his suspension, then another 10 years. So they got him locked up to 2031, youngest guy to win MVP and Super Bowl quarterback. Just tell me your thoughts on the deal and Mahomes as a player.
Best quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
I mean, it may be biased, but I mean, best quarterback in the league. I mean, who else you gonna get that to right now?
Yeah,
quarterback.
I guess. Yeah.
You know, and I'm not even a fan. You know, I am not a fan. I haven't been a fan of the NFL since the Kaepernick situation. But
okay. Oh, yeah.
But you know, I kind of weeded myself back in. You know, I still football. Patrick Mahomes, man, he's a monster. Like, what can you do?
Yeah.
You gotta pay that man.
Yeah.
You don't want no other team to have him. You definitely don't want no other team to get him. You know, he's the best quarterback in the league, and I think the best deserve the best. You know, so
yeah. And like you said, and he's so young, and he's already won. So it's like, and his ceiling, like the money is not even a big deal. Like, you know how some deals they would come out and they be like, man, he got too much money. The money's not even a problem because his numbers are only going to get better, and his ask price is going to be high anyway. So you might as well go ahead and give it to him now, and honestly, they'll still make out good. And now they know who they can build around him. But man, they're not going nowhere, you know, anytime soon. You know, the Chiefs anytime soon. Who is your favorite football team though? I don't know if I asked you that.
I'm a Bears fan, man. I've been a Bears fan since.
Okay. You know. Oh, Walter Payton in the game. Going back 85 Bears.
I'm a Bears fan.
That's interesting as a Bears. So you keep the Chicago teams.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's real. That's real. Hey, that's interesting with the Bears, man, because you guys have Mr. Trubisky, and they traded up, to get him when you could have got a Patrick Mahomes. So I know that has a kind of a smirk, but yeah. So, but what do you think this year with y'all? Y'all have still Mr. Trubisky young. Shout out Tar Heels. He's a Tar Heel, but you also brought in Nick Foles. So do you think Trubisky's going to still be the starter? Do you expect Foles to be the starter? What do you think? What's the outlet on your team, this year?
I think Mitchell is going to be the starting quarterback. I don't see Foles coming in and taking his job. I think he's just in case Mitch, buckle under pressure per usual, or what I mean, if they got to bring in a quarterback that has a little more experience, in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Have a little more experience on the big stage. You know what I'm saying? So I think I definitely think Mitchell definitely gonna keep his starting spot, but I'm glad that we have I say a reliable backup.
Yeah.
Somebody that can come in and keep the game flowing.
Yeah. And you know what you're gonna get from him. Obviously he's a Super Bowl winner. Like you said, if either Mitchell gets hurt or if this Mitchell's not cutting it, you've got somebody that you can bring in, kind of like look at Tannehill last year for Tennessee. He wasn't started, and Mariota didn't do good. They bring in Tannehill, and they go to the AFC Championship, so you very well see that. Because we know with the Bears, we know what your defense is. I mean, your defense is going to be top notch, but it's all about the offense. For y'all and that side of the ball. I mean, you got the receiver and Robinson. You got the running backs. You know what I mean? So, like you said, it's all about really that QB position. So can I get off? I mean, I know it's early, but you got y'all making the playoffs this year, or what do you think? Yeah. I won't hold it against you. I know it's early still.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. I'm always roll with them. Yeah, of course we're gonna make the playoffs. Lance, why would?
Yeah, you gotta ride with them. Yeah, might as well ride with. Now the thing is, do you think it's gonna be an NFL year? Because like I've been telling people, it's easier for the NBA to pick up and play 8 games and pick the playoffs than it is for NFL constant, and they're not in a bubble. Yeah. How are they going to get through an NFL season, man, without a lot of people getting COVID? What do you think they're going to do?
I don't see it, man. This actually was a discussion too. Like, I don't see us having an NFL season this year. I think the NFL is going to sit out. I can see the NBL coming out. I can see them playing because it's not so much contact.
Yeah, it's not much. Right,
man, right. It's like hands on, So I don't see it, man. Right. I haven't even heard about what their plans are anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I don't see it, man. You make a good point. You made a great point.
Yeah.
Too much content.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough, man. I mean, and they're not living together in a bubble in just a hotel, and I know people are saying that they're probably going to have fans, they're going to have a season and stuff like that. But I'm with you. I don't know. I did hear. I think they're going to do a conference call. Maybe they had it today, or maybe it's coming up tomorrow with the owner and the plan about how they're going to do training camp and different things. But like you said, man, I don't see how they're going to do it. As a not even an NFL fan, because like I said, after the Kaepernick thing, obviously I think all of us turned a blind eye to it. But as a fantasy football fan, I would love to have something to take my mind off this other craziness in the world. Right. But that's the selfish part of me. But as you said though, we'll see. But most importantly, we just want everybody to be safe. With everything that's going on. So, time will tell. Time will definitely tell. Let me ask you one more thing, man, before I let you go, man. Again, I appreciate you jumping on. We talked about a little bit about Kaepernick and also about the kneeling. Did you have a problem, or I won't even say you, or people that you're in the service with? Maybe you've had discussion, maybe you haven't had a problem with Kaepernick kneeling, during the anthem, during, with the flag. Have you talked about that with some of your people? What was your thoughts just on that? Because obviously we heard what Drew Brees said, and he still didn't understand that wasn't the reason, it had nothing to do with the military. But just give me your thoughts on that.
I fight for the people. I fight for us to be able to have these constitutional rights. That's what I fight for. Yeah, I wear this flag, and I am an American, and I am a patriot. But I fight for us to still be land of the free, home of the brave. You know, so if he's not able to display something how he feels by a gesture, then is that really freedom? Is that really? Am I really fighting for him to be able to voice his opinion? You know, so
right.
I mean, it can go both ways. My personal opinion about it is, I fight for the people. I fight for this country to be able to have those constitutional rights. So
yeah,
you know,
that's real.
I mean, even you know, when we come into the Navy and you know we put our hand and we re-enlist, you know, I fight for constitutional rights. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to fight for the people to have these constitutional rights. So that's my outlook on it. I think you should be able to express yourself in any way you want to, especially when it comes to injustices to your fellow Americans. So
yeah, that's what's up. Well said, man. Now, I want to hear, like you said, get that perspective with you know, being at the military and just, you know, your thoughts on that. You know, so thanks for sharing that. So as we close, man, what's next? What's next for Albert, man? I mean, you're in the VA area now. You know, what's next for you as far as, you know, the service and you know, where you stationed, and just talk a little bit about what's next for you, you know, these next few years.
Man, I'm hoping to finish up these 5 years and get this pension.
Yeah, yes sir. That sounds good to me. Yeah.
That's the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
And I just want to be here to be of service to not only the people, but my family, my kids, and just be an influence to any and everybody that I can, man. That's my purpose here, and I'm hoping that I'm living through what God gave me the purpose to be here in the first place. So I mean, I'm just hoping that hopefully I can go back overseas. If not, I'm good here. I'll go back to a ship, do some more deployments for these last 5 years and call it quits, man. I'm ready.
That's what's up, man. Yeah. I pray it definitely go just like that, man. Like I said, man, that's definitely a good way to end it again. I want to say, man, I appreciate you jumping on here. Known each other for a long time, man. Seeing each other grow from boys to men. I've always been a humble guy, always a guy that keeps God first. So, and thanks for coming on. Real Sports Fan Podcast. Again, thanks everybody for listening. Thanks, Albert, for being on. Man, anything else you want to say, man, before we close? Anybody or anybody out there?
Man, anybody that's listening, man, just know that you can do whatever you set your mind to. And don't set your ceiling too low. Keep it high. Keep striving to succeed. Keep God first, and everything else will come natural.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. You heard it here, man. Albert Finch Sr. Appreciate him jumping on. Season 3, episode 18, Real Sports Fan Podcast. Something about everything. Share this. Tell somebody about it. It'll be on YouTube in a couple of days. Albert, man, I appreciate you, man. I hit you offline, man, but I appreciate you. Like I said, man, always been a good dude, man. Be safe. We appreciate what you're doing. Peace, man. Love you, bro. Take care.
Love you too. It was a privilege, man.
All right. Oh, yes, sir. Peace.